this computer and let's let folks in. Good afternoon. Welcome, everyone. Many thanks to those who I saw just earlier today on another call for back-to-back trainings. Appreciate all your time today. How's everyone doing weathering the storm?
I don't know.
Who's getting it worse? Does anyone think they're going to get the deepest snowfall?
I'm in Denver. I don't think we're going to get the deepest snowfall, but my cats sure don't like it. So
We've
I'm
had
sorry my
snow.
camera's not working today.
Right. All of the sympathy for the cats, for sure.
Yeah.
I'm still letting a few folks in from the waiting room.
Oh,
Yeah, the storm, definitely the most significant piece of news that happened this week. Um,
What else happened? I can't think of anything.
all right. Um, well, I'll just say that I deeply appreciate here in this week the incredibly important work all of you are doing to serve and connect your communities. Um, there's no question that you all are the news that Colorado needs. And with that, I'll give you a little overview of what we're going to do today. I know this is the first call we've had post award letters going out, so welcome to the cohort. Absolutely thrilled to have our largest cohort for News Colorado Needs. I will hold a little bit of time, maybe 10 minutes at the end, for any of you to flag sort of broader questions about this new campaign format and sort of details about the matching grant. But our real focus today is going to be on Jordan Brown from Colorado Gives Foundation and the coloradogives.org platform. Goal is to everyone leaves today with their profile page or fundraising page online, ready to be edited and updated, and ready to go. So you can take the next couple of weeks before Thanksgiving to hone and refine your messaging and get those links embedded into any of your prep work for email campaigns, social media campaigns, etc. So just flagging that, focus for the first majority of this hour is going to be on getting your profile set up in that page. And if you do have any broader questions about the campaign, hold them for the end. I'll make sure I save some time to attend to those. And the what I will do is, as I hand this over to Jordan for her intro, I will be dropping a couple of links in the chat. You've seen these already. They're in that welcome email I sent out, but this is a reminder, making sure those are nice and accessible for you as we're moving through this. Just all the campaign resources, registration link for next week's training with Barefoot Media on the campaign collateral that they created. So know that that's coming up, and there may be pieces as you're building your profiles here that you're flagging. Oh, and we're going to embed a lot of images from that campaign package that Barefoot made. If you have any questions about or need hands-on support for like how to edit those in Canva, that's all coming next week. So rest assured. And with that, I would love to hand this over to Jordan Brown with the Colorado Gives Foundation, who's going to walk us through their platform. If you're an experienced user, this is going to be a good refresher. If you're novice to the platform, this is going to be the perfect place for you to start. Jordan, do you mind if I hand this over to you?
let's get started. Thank you, Sam. Hi, everybody. Welcome and congratulations. I am so excited to be chatting with you, Ryan. I actually was just, hi, Quentin. I was just on the phone with you before we hopped on today. So I have loved connecting with a lot of you up until this point. And for those that are new faces, I'm excited to get to know you and your media organization even more. For today, like Sam said, we're really going to go over some of the basics. So for some of you, this might be repeat content, but I hope out of it you get some nuggets of information that help you to build your campaign. So with that, let's just dive in and get started. So hi, I'm Jordan Brown. I'm the Nonprofit Success Manager for coloradogives.org. which is a program of Colorado Gives Foundation. We are partnering with Colorado Media Project so that they can leverage the Colorado Gives technology to run your event. This is also a platform that you can use year-round after the end of this event. So this is really a resource for you to raise funds, do peer-to-peer fundraising, provide matching grants, and so much more on a year-round capacity. So we're excited to bring this to you. And if have been doing this for years, just ignore me. No, I appreciate everybody's time today, and we're going to try and make this as efficient for everybody to get to the Q&A so we can talk about special scenarios. Okay, so first, I want to chat about how to fundraise on coloradogives.org. So how you can get yourself onboarded if you're not already, if you are a 501c3 nonprofit. So if you are eligible to raise funds yourself through your EIN on Colorado Gives, there's just 3 requirements. You have to be a registered 501c3. You have to be registered with the Secretary of State, and then you have to be providing services in Colorado. You don't have to be legally, physically here in order to be on the platform. So I thought I'd keep it real simple. It's a couple steps, and we don't want to overcomplicate how easy it is to make sure that you're onboarded onto the platform. So first, if this is your first time experiencing coloradogives.org, my suggestion would be to go to coloradogives.org and search for your organization. If it's live, if it's accepting donations, if you have a profile page, it's going to pop up. And so that is a great indication for you kind of where you're at. It may be the case that if you see yourself in search, maybe you don't have admin access yet. So you just have to request admin access, and we'll go through that. If you don't see your page in search, you've got to enroll. So we'll talk about that a bit. And it's a 1-question form. So the word enroll sounds scary, but it's really just you filling out a 1-question form so we can create that profile page for you. Once you've searched and if you've determined that you have your organization page or you do not have access to your organization page, you then have to get admin access. And so if you are enrolling, we are going to automatically give you admin access. If you are not enrolling, so if you just need access to your organization page, I'll show you where you can do that on the public page. All right. So we've searched for your organization. We've determined if you do or do not have a profile page. And then you have logged in to access your organization page. And don't worry, folks, I'm going to provide visuals for all of this. You're then going to do a to-do list. And so it's a built-in to-do list that really just has a couple check marks, like putting your logo on the page, adding some text content, setting up your bank account information so we can send you all the money. So that is the to-do list, and you'll see that it's right at the top of your organization page when you log in. So we'll take a look at that. Step 4 is once your to-do list is complete, your page will be live, searchable, and able to accept donations. Great. So you are almost at the finish line as far as getting onboarded for this event. Step 5 is that we need to add your page to the News Colorado Needs event site, which Sam will give you a peek at here in a bit. And so you do need to, one manual thing you will need to do is just give us a heads up, send us your actual URL of your organization page so we can double check and make sure you're in that event site. And step 6 is fundraise. And so really, it's just a couple steps for your organization if you're new. If you're not new, really all you need to do is email your organization page link to Sam. So if you're an old pro and you've been doing this for years on coloradogives.org, we just want to confirm and make sure that your page is added to the event site. So I'm jumping right in here, guys. I hope it's okay. We'll go through some more of the basics as we see the visuals, but I wanted to make sure you understood that it's really easy here to onboard as a new nonprofit. A quick visual. So when we are talking about your organization page on coloradogives.org and we are talking about your to-dos, this is what your to-dos look like. So it's nothing crazy. We want you to add some content, set up your EFT, make sure someone is a lead contact in case we need to reach out to you. So just a couple of things here that you got to make sure are checked off in order to start accepting donations. One of the areas where we do see folks have questions a lot is in the state compliance. And so I just wanted to make sure everybody knew that if you are a 501c3 and need or want a page on coloradogives.org, you do have to be registered with the Secretary of State and then also in good standing. And so the good news is they are not like the IRS. They do not take months and months and months to respond. So if that's an action you need to take in the next couple weeks, they are fabulous. And they usually turn it around within a couple days to get you registered and in their database. So just wanted to reassure everybody there. And then one other thing I wanted to make sure to highlight is that once you gain access to your page as an admin, you can add other admins. And so invite the rest of your staff to help you out to make this the biggest campaign yet. So you don't have to wait around for us or for support to approve more staff members or add them to your page to gain access. Okay, so that was if you are a 501c3 nonprofit. Now let's go through the steps if you are a for-profit or fiscally sponsored organization. So step one, if you do not yourself have an EIN or a 501c3 status, we are asking you to go to Colorado News Collaborative page. That's their organization page on coloradogives.org. And we're asking you to click that fundraise button because the way that you're going to participate in this campaign is to create a fundraiser page connected to this organization because they have graciously said that they are going to accept and then reimburse you for all of the funds that you raise. So they are going to act as your fiscal sponsor, and basically you're going to use their EIN for this campaign to accept donations. I want to reassure everybody that is going to use Colorado News Collaborative and create a fundraiser page that, and correct me if I'm wrong, Sam, but I don't believe there's any formal MOUs or signatures that have to happen between your organization and Colorado News Collaborative. So truly, the steps that you're taking are to create that fundraiser page, of course, set up and put content on that fundraiser page, and then make sure Sam has the link to the fundraiser page because we want to include that in the event search. And so, again, to reassure you all that are for-profit or fiscally sponsored, Colorado News Collaborative has stepped up and they are going to initially accept the funds raised for anybody creating a fundraiser page connected to their organization. And then they're going to turn around and redisperse those funds to you so that you can accept those funds that you raised for this campaign. So it's really exciting and a great opportunity for everybody. I'm going to pause. Sam, was there anything about this? Because I know you have a more intimate understanding of who is fiscally sponsored or for-profit. Anything coming up or anything that you wanted to point out here?
That was a great overview. I think that I'll just flag the way you go about that is you contact Allison Cooper at Allison@collabnews.co. She'll be able to walk you through that rapid fiscal sponsorship process. I know there are a handful of newsrooms that already have fiscal sponsors that for being out of state perhaps aren't compatible with Colorado Gives. Collab is able to offer a temporary fiscal sponsorship in those situations. For those who are for-profit newsrooms and don't have a fiscal sponsor, once you sign up for Collab as your fiscal sponsor, they will be your fiscal sponsor until you choose to end that relationship. So it's a very easy way to get something that not only enables you to use Colorado Gives Foundation's platform, but make some certain applications to grants more accessible to you in the future. So consider this a small investment of time in long-term capacity for your newsroom.
That's a good way to put it. Thank you. All right, so I'm going to pause here before we do a quick demo and look at a page. I want to see in chat who has their page set up and who is still waiting to enroll or create their fundraiser page. Just want to do a quick vibe check, see where everybody's at in the meeting. So go ahead and share in the chat what your status is. Awesome. You set? Okay, great. Okay, perfect. All right. So a lot of you set up, some of you, I love it. As long as you are aware of where you are in the process, that's all we're asking, because you do have a couple weeks here to resolve. Perfect. Thank you all. I appreciate that, just to get a feel for where everybody is. Let's take a look now at an organization page. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Okay. So when we're talking about fundraising through the Colorado Gives platform for News Colorado Needs campaign, this is going to be the majority of your experiences. So you are going to have an organization page. You are going to have admin access to that organization page, and you can log in from anywhere and go directly to any organization that you have admin access to. And so once you're logged in on coloradogives.org, it will land you on this page, and you will be able to see an overview. So all of the incredible stats related to your campaign activity. You'll be able to update your public-facing content. So we'll talk about that. You have a fundraising tool area. This is where you can access all of the different fundraising tools available to you. So we'll take a quick peek at that today, just so everybody feels comfortable. You have access to real-time reports. And so data is coming to you in real time as donations are coming through the platform. And in addition to that, you have recurring as well as retention reports built into the system. This is all simply to help you be better digital fundraisers. Within the checkout area on the navigation, this is where you're updating and customizing the checkout flow, which is really important. That's what every donor is going to experience during this campaign. And so you have the ability to update the donation form, the thank you page, which is what they land on after, as well as the donation receipt. So we'll talk about that in just a bit. And then when we head down to the settings area here, the last bit of navigation on your organization page, you'll have access to some general settings, which is just what it sounds, some more nitty-gritty details of page, discoverability, searchability. You'll have the ability to check out your disbursement settings. So this is where you set up your bank account information and your EFT. And then you'll be able to manage admins from this area as well. And so that's just a really high level, quick navigation of all of the areas of your organization page. So when we're talking about your organization page, it's going to, on your to-do list, ask you to complete your organization page. So when that happens, it's going to actually give you a checklist so to make sure that you're putting all the content in the right areas of your organization page. These guys did a great job. They put a big banner up with people to evoke emotion. They put their logo up there. Their primary color is teal, so they don't even have to change their complementary colors on this page. So that's great for them. So there's just some ways that you can edit and update this page so it looks and feels more like your website or more like how you want to portray yourself in the digital space. This is what people will see when they Google search you. So it's going to come up right below your website or your page. One thing I'll point out, and the reason I chose this page as an example, is Chalkbeat Colorado, and it's their preference, or maybe they don't know that they did this, either way. They have turned off the fundraise button. And so it would be my suggestion not to turn off the fundraise button unless you have an actual policy at your organization against people raising funds for you, because you don't want to if someone is inspired and wants to raise funds and create a fundraiser for you, you want this button on, or else they're not going to be able to do that. So that was just one thing I noticed that everybody should pay attention to. When you're heading down your public facing page, you are able to set up metrics and a goal. So for you guys, maybe you're counting right now for Colorado Gives Day, or maybe you want to set your metrics date to December 3rd when everything kicks off and starts counting for Colorado, News Colorado Needs, excuse me. This is where you can adjust the metrics. So you're showing exactly how much you're raising as people land on this page, because you're going to be sharing directly this URL with folks to encourage them to donate to your campaign. You can also set up a goal amount, and you can also hide these sections if, for example, you wouldn't want a public-facing goal. I know you guys are going through or will be going through a good amount of training on digital fundraising. It is always a great idea to have a goal available, a public-facing goal, because that gives you milestones to check in with folks. Maybe your goal this year is $50,000. Amazing. Whether you're halfway there or you're struggling to get halfway there, it's a point of conversation and a point of engagement that you can have with your donor base to invite them in and give them a compelling call to action. So think about what your public-facing goal is for this campaign and end of year fundraising. The About section is another important area that I wanted to spend just a little bit of time on today. You should be updating this area, and we are suggesting you update it in a specific way, because this is where people are hanging out before they give you a donation, before they take action. So these guys did a nice job. There is not a ton of text on here, so it's digestible information. What I might suggest is, and I'll show you an example of a page I just updated recently. I might suggest adjusting this language so it's you focused, right? You want the donor to understand what their donation does to impact the people that you are serving and engaging with, not necessarily just an explanation of your programs. And so let's take just a quick peek at Boulder County AIDS Project as an example. Oops, excuse you. Hope you're feeling better. I think I'm getting a cold too. So we are on Boulder County AIDS Project. And so this is an organization page. And like I said, I just helped them update their About section. And I took their content directly from their website. It was talking about their programs and their impact. And I just adjusted it slightly so that it was focused on the donor. Your kind donation drives more testing, treatment, and education. Setting up a monthly gift of any amount is a lifeline. And so I just challenge you all through this campaign and in setting up your page to remember that when you're talking about your programs, just generally on your website, it's okay to talk about your programs. But when you're talking to your donors about giving, it's about what their impact is. So just shifting the lens of the content that you're pushing out there. All righty. Let's head back to Chalkbeat. So a couple other things on the public-facing organization page. You have the ability to, let's head down here to the bottom. You have the ability to add financials, and we do suggest that you update your financials. Let's see. It looks like this organization still does need to take action. And so what we're requesting everybody does, for your benefit, not for ours, is to open up your financials and just make sure that each of these different areas, fundraising, program, other expenses, etc. These are all aspects of your 990. So you can copy paste from your 990 and update your financial section. And we find that major donors and recurring givers, they want a little bit more transparency. They want a little bit more trust in the people that they're giving to, in the nonprofits that they're giving to. And so having these types of elements is really helpful. So that is the public-facing organization page. And that's just a couple of tips on how you can refresh and update it. before the big event. I think the one thing I hear a lot about any giving event happening on the platform is how do we talk about and share this page with everybody, with our donor base, with our network. And so there's a couple different ways that I want to just show you how you can access different URLs and share and prompt people to donate. So the most obvious way, and I had mentioned it before, is just sending them to your organization page. They're landing on this page, maybe they're digesting a little information, and then they're clicking donate, or maybe they're clicking fundraise. You can also go to the checkout area. You can go to the donation forms, and you can copy a direct link to donate. So if you want them to skip your organization page, they don't need to read more about you, you've already educated them, great. Copy direct link to donate. And this sends them directly to a donation form so they can check out. So that is another way that you might prompt people to give to you through this campaign. The most important thing here is that you are the one that are shouting from the rooftops, getting folks excited, engaging with different segments of your audience for this campaign. Colorado Media Project will have an amazing event site, and they will be pushing out that event site to generally provide awareness and bring in new donors. But the real success happens from your nonprofit's communications, your emails, your social media, your phone calls and conversations leading up to this campaign. And so with that, we see the majority of the donations coming through the platform. They're coming through direct links. People aren't searching for your nonprofit and then trickling down. So I just wanted to encourage you guys, as you're thinking through how you're communicating, just making sure it's a direct link that you're sending folks to. Alrighty, I'll get off my soapbox about direct links. Let's head now. We've talked a little bit about the organization page. I want to just quickly point out the different areas of the fundraising tools. And believe me, like, we have so many resources on this. We have FAQs, we have videos, we have webinars. So if you're stuck anywhere or need a little extra help, we do have the resources available. So in the fundraising tools area as an organization, you can manage any peer-to-peer individual fundraiser pages connected to your organization. So if you're going to ask anybody to raise funds on your behalf, it's very easy to manage that. I think people get overwhelmed sometimes with peer-to-peer fundraising. You're able to see all of the campaigns listed here. You can run reports. You can email anybody who's created a page on your behalf. You can even add a process, and it looks like they have it on, so that when anybody creates a new fundraiser page connected to your organization, you as an admin have to approve it before it goes live. And so that's a nice little bit of oversight if you are going to lean into peer-to-peer fundraising this year. So that is the campaigns area. So that is specifically where you see any fundraiser page connected to your organization. We have two types of embeddable forms. We have an embeddable donation form. That's a full form that you can embed on your external website. You can use it year-round or just for this campaign. And then we have a free widget. So the full embeddable form processes PayPal, Apple Pay, Google Pay, credit card, all of the payment process types. The widget is free. And it processes credit card donations. And so if you need to collect donations on your external website, which especially for news media outlets, like when people think about giving to you, they're going to go to your website. No matter how many times you share a direct link, they're going to go to your website. And so it's advisable, if you have the capacity, to embed one of these two forms on your external website to capture all of the donations you can towards your campaign. Anything going through those forms is going to count towards your overall campaign totals. We have the ability for you to reflect matching grants on any of your pages on coloradogives.org. And we know matching grants drive a ton of donations. And so people just get it. They understand that if they give $100 and their $100 is matched by your matching grant that you've set up, that's double the donation and double the impact. So this is one of the most powerful ways for you to grab people's attention, really, for you to say, hey, we don't just want you to donate. We have organized for this match to incentivize and celebrate your donation, to double it. And so I would say, if you can identify a business partner, a major donor, or maybe your board members can come together and get a matching grant amount to set up, it is only going to further compel your donors to give during this campaign. I'll head in here just to take a quick peek for you. So it looks like this organization hasn't yet set up any grants, matching grants. They can do so just in a couple of minutes by creating the grant and setting up its parameters. You can schedule one or multiple matching grants. And so the idea here is this is a visual matching grant tool. It's going to show up on your organization page and it's going to encourage people to give. But the real power is in your messaging. Matching grant messaging can be very inspiring and compelling. And so if you're able to identify any, again, business partners, major donors, groups that could provide a significant match to excite your donors, you can set it up here. I want to make it clear, because this is a big misconception about the matching grant tool, that if you set up a match here, you do not have to pay that match through coloradogives.org. So if Coca-Cola gives you $10,000, they can write you a check. It's okay. They don't have to pay it through the system. They do have the opportunity to do that, though. So the matching grant tool allows you to, if Coca-Cola wants to do a credit card transaction to pay the matching grant once it's fulfilled, that can happen through the platform as well. So let's peek at one or two other fundraising tools. The last one I'll touch on today is fundraiser templates. And so again, this is related to peer-to-peer fundraising. If you are asking any of your network to raise funds on your behalf, and I suggest trying it, it doesn't have to be 200 people raising funds for you. It can be 2 or 5 or 10. Maybe it's just some special people who have a big network or a hero story to tell. For people that are raising funds on your behalf, we don't want them to land on a blank fundraiser page. We want them to have some content from you to suggest how they might talk about the campaign. And with that, you can create a template that they will have access to when they're setting up their fundraiser. So a fundraiser goal, an image, a short and longer text. And so this can be a really great tool if you are asking people to fundraise on your behalf. All right, we're going to go through these other couple sections briefly, and then Sam, if it's okay, I'll pause so we can answer some questions and technicalities about the organization page.
Perfect.
Awesome. So we chatted about fundraising tools. In the reports area, this is where you can access your all donations report. This is your real-time report of all donations happening through the platform. Now, keep in mind, for Colorado Gives Day and for News Colorado Needs, only online donations are counting towards any of those incentives. You do have the ability to track your offline gifts as well. And so you can import offline gifts or add, as a check comes in, one-off offline gifts. This can be reflected in your page totals, but again, only online gifts are counting towards those incentives. So just wanted to point that out for everybody. All right, so let's take a quick peek at the reporting tool. The one thing that I wanted to point out is that you can really quickly see things like, how did I do in last year's Colorado Gives Day? Great, they did pretty good. You can filter by custom date ranges, as well as some different time periods. You can do by donation type if you're really curious about a certain type of donation. The most important thing, and the thing that I get asked the most is this all the data that we get? And the answer is no. You need to download your report to get the full scope of all of the donor data related to the transactions happening on the platform. And this is true both for fundraiser pages and for organization pages. We'll take a peek at a fundraiser page in a bit. All right, so that is the donations report. The other reports available to you is a recurring donations report. So anybody setting up a monthly gift, if you have the capacity to ask your donors for a monthly recurring gift, do it. Again, it's not going to be all of your donors, but that is the most valuable type of donation and the most valuable type of relationship you can have. We, since last year, have been tracking really actively recurring gifts. And we see that a recurring gift on the Colorado Gives platform provides anywhere from 5 to 10x what the initial donation was. And so the value is there to ask your folks for recurring gifts. On the Colorado Gives platform, if someone is setting up a recurring gift as an individual, the great news is we have a full-time customer support team if they have questions, and they can manage their recurring gifts themselves in their profile. So that takes a lot of the burden off of you of helping to manage or provide customer support related to some of those monthly gifts. Last one here is the retention report. And just wanted to point out, because if this is your first year on coloradogives.org, maybe this isn't as helpful this year, but it will be in the future. So this is a fast way to see who's coming back and who didn't come back in certain time periods. And so this is a great way for you to quickly access all the data related to your campaigns on Colorado Gives. All right, I'll spend some time here because I just want to make sure everybody understands that you do need to customize this part of your page, or else it's just going to be bland and it's not going to feel special to the donors who are giving to your organization. So I'm sorry, I didn't mean to call our platform bland. I love our platform. It's beautiful. I just meant I want them to be compelled and feel warm, fuzzy feelings for your nonprofit as they're going through the checkout. When we are going to the donation form, I'll just point out a couple areas where you could make some updates. So we already talked about the direct link to donate, which you can use for marketing purposes. You have the ability here to adjust these suggested donation amounts. So this is just our default, 25, 50, 75, 100. Get creative. What are actual suggested donation amounts that would resonate with your people, your donors, your supporters? You can have a description as well. And so the idea here is that maybe on average, people are giving you $30. So maybe your suggested donations start at $42 and you have a reason or description for that. So the idea is not only to inspire, but also hopefully to upsell. If your average donation sizes are lower, how can you upsell them with this suggested donation amount feature? People have the ability to add a dedication. They also have the ability to add a designation. Let's pause here for a sec. I've been getting a lot of designation questions lately. So I just wanted to clarify here that, and this is a great example. So Chalkbeat, Colorado, it doesn't look like they have a lot of other programs that someone could pick to designate their funds. And so in this scenario, I would just hide this. There's no value in the selection that that donor is making. So everything can go to the general fund. So I'm going to go ahead and remove that. It can always be added on. I don't know if Chalkbeat's on here. So if if you need some support updating your page after we chat today, I'm happy to do it. I also wanted to make sure you guys knew that you have 2 custom questions that you can put into this donation form. And so you have the ability, maybe you want to collect phone number and have all your board members call folks that are donating over $250 for this campaign. You have the ability here to add a new section. And here you can see that we have all these different types of question formats, radio buttons, check boxes, and then we also have some pre-built questions, phone number, additional email, non-billing address. for folks who are sending out a lot of snail mail. All of these are great options. I also see a lot of nonprofits ask something like, why did you choose to donate to us? So maybe for this campaign, you're just trying to learn a little bit more about who's donating to you and why. So just wanted to point out that you have some customization options there. All right. Thank you, Paige. Chalkbeat hasn't yet set theirs up, so endless possibilities, right? So this is the page that the donor lands on after they make the transaction. And so right now it just has, some general thank you message from coloradogives.org. We want you to customize it. You can customize the content. Maybe you're dropping in a 30-second thank you video from your staff. How cool would that be? You can drop in a video and you can autoplay it so that when they land on this page, they're digesting that content and they're extending that warm, fuzzy feeling. You can also customize the button, which they have, which is awesome. So maybe it's follow us on social for updates, or join our mailing list, or visit our site. And then with the donation receipt, same general idea. You have the ability to send yourself a test receipt. So if you're ever like, I just want to see what my donors are seeing, you can send yourself a test receipt. And then in this area is where you're adding custom text. Again, just extending that warm, fuzzy feeling. We send an automated donation receipt to every donor, and it does have the appropriate tax deductible language and all the necessary legal language. So we just want you to add the warm fuzzy, and you can do that right here. All right, so that's my quick tour of the organization page. Sam, adjust my expectations. How are we doing on time? And can we do some questions?
We can absolutely do some
Okay,
questions.
good.
We got at least about 15, 20 minutes left. And I pulled a couple out of the chat that I'd love to start with. One of the simple technical question, if someone's already on the platform, how do they reset the amount raised to just focus in on the month-long giving period at the end of the year?
Yep. So you would I'm heading to your organization page, public facing content.
Mm-hmm.
I'm heading to the metrics. So you have to be logged in as an admin to see these pencils. And you're clicking on these pencils and you're selecting how you want your metrics to display. Do you just want amount raised? Do you want number of donors? Do you want to include offline gifts? And then you're, for the most part, selecting calculate from a specific date, and then you're adding that date. So good question.
Another technical thing, is there a way to import donations that are brought in through Colorado Gives to Salesforce or other external CMSs?
There is. Thank you for asking. So we do have integration options. It is available in a subscription model. So we have a subscription model for $69 a month, which gives you a ton of stuff, which I'm happy to talk about. The most valuable two pieces to me in the advanced features package is the integrations and the embeddable form that you get access to. So we can integrate with, as you can see, Salesforce, MailChimp, Slack, Google Analytics and Facebook Pixels, HubSpot, and through Zapier. Zapier is a tool that allows you to connect to thousands of other systems as well. So much more than what is listed here. So yes, we have the ability for you to seamlessly move your data from Colorado Gives to your external marketing or donor management systems. I'll just mention this. I won't go into extreme detail, but if you are interested in the advanced features, you are heading to settings. You are heading to plan management. And then you are heading down here to read about the two different options. So you can just subscribe to the embeddable form for $19 a month. You can unsubscribe at any time. It's a month by month subscription. Or you could do the advanced plan, which has the form and much more, including that integrations option. So you can read about that here. We've linked a bunch of videos. And then, of course, we're happy to do a demo or talk further with you about that. All right.
There was
end of answer.
Putting data from previous fundraising years into Colorado Gives. whether that's possible.
Yeah, so you can, in the donations area, import offline gifts. We will categorize them as offline gifts because they did not come through the Colorado Gives platform. But if that is helpful for you to see the full scope of your campaign, yes, do it. That's a great idea. So I would click this button because this allows you to upload in bulk via an Excel. This is a button for if you want to do one-off additions of offline gifts.
That's a great segue to another question on offline donations. One of these newsrooms has a few donors giving from donor advised funds, and wondering if there's who can't donate via credit card through the portal, wondering if there's other ways to get those donations. And I'll flag the first part of my answer to this question is the best thing to do with those donors who you know are planning to give you $1,000 is to have them give you that $1,000 as an addition to CMP's matching grant. Turn that $5,000 from CMP into 6,000, 7,000, 8,000. Like those are the kinds of donors you should engage early and as sort of inside fundraisers where they like that's one of the best ways to turn to them and say you can help double your donation and incentivize broader community support for us.
Totally. Yeah.
The thing that I absolutely want to remind newsrooms of is the purpose of this is not to meet your $5,000 match from CMP and get a grant from us. Flip that all the way around. The purpose of this grant is to help you increase your community contributions. It's, it is the biggest year we've ever had in terms of cohort size and amount of grants going out for News Colorado Needs. Your funding from CMP through the News Colorado Needs grant program is not going to increase year over year. I really think we're going to be stuck at $5,000 grants, and that's going to be the ceiling. The potential to increase year over year and increase your newsroom sustainability through the donations you raise, that's where you're going to see growth in revenue. So that's the way you want, like my grant to you, our grant to you is a little tool for leveraging a much bigger thing. So don't be afraid to move a large donation that, in previous years you might have thought of as, oh, well, that's going to get me a whole fifth of my matching grant from CMP. Flip that around and say, that's going to increase my matching pool.
I love that. That's exactly what I would say too. Yeah, if you have major donors or people that in 2023 gave you $2,000, you should be connecting with them early on. And exactly, of course, if they can give through the platform, great. But if they don't want to, if they want to write you a check, exactly what Sam said, I would approach them and say, hey, thank you for this $1,000 check. Can I use this $1,000 towards my overall matching grant? And so I think there's real value for you guys and for your campaign totals that you raise, but also for the donor. How special. You're not just accepting the gift, but you're saying, I'm going to use this to lift up other donors. Is that okay with you? So I love that idea, Sam. I think that's great. To answer your question around IRAs, donor advised fund, wire transfers, yes. Folks who don't want to give with a credit card or PayPal or Google Pay or Apple Pay or bank account, they can give through IRA, donor advised fund, wire, or stocks. So IRA, donor advised fund, and wire transfers are all built in to the checkout this year, which I'm very excited about. It really streamlines the process for these folks and makes it really easy for them to click a couple buttons and give you usually significant amounts of money through these vehicles. So IRA, donor advised fund, and wire are built into your donation checkout flow. The one that's not, our unique little unicorn, is stocks. So not a terrible amount of people donate via stocks, although we are seeing it increase. If you have someone who wants to donate with stocks, they do have to fill out a very short form to start that process. So that one we couldn't build into the system. They do have to still fill out a form. Did that help answer the question around that? And were there further questions about these types of gifts that I can answer?
I think the one thing that would be helpful to clarify is, so what you just described is a couple of different kinds of donations that can be made through the Colorado Gives site outside of credit card donations. all
Yep.
of which, because they're made through the platform, would be eligible for CMP's match or any other matches that you've raised. Offline donation, somebody gives you, whatever it is, the equivalent of handing you $100 in cash that you then manually enter to Colorado Gives platform, not eligible for the match.
Yeah. Good point. Yes. You can't enter an offline donation, call it stock, and then have it be counted. It does have to be processed through the system. Thank you.
So, and I will say,
There's a
if
yeah.
you are doing any in-person fundraising, print out a QR code that links to your Colorado Gives page, have that on a piece of paper, have your donors at the live event scan that and donate on the code.
Yes, QR codes. They made a miraculous comeback during COVID, and they are, I mean, everybody's using them now. As you know, when you go out to lunch and have to scan, the menu. So yes, if you can use a QR code, if you're hosting an event or sending out physical mail or any of that, I would definitely consider creating a QR code that goes either directly to the donation form or to your organization page for folks to donate. Are there any other questions that we should make sure to address?
I will highlight, I think, two more, and then I'll do a wrap up overview of match eligibility because I see a lot of questions
Perfect.
around that.
Yep.
But I think there's a question on, should the matching grant section of the website reflect or acknowledge the Colorado Media Project match? Absolutely, put that $5,000 in there.
Oh, that's a good point.
Does that happen
Well,
automatically, or?
Yeah, let me clarify that. Thank you. Because I kind of breezed over that. So the question is, how do we reflect the Colorado Media Project $5,000 on our organization page? So if you'll remember, I was chatting in the fundraising tools area about how you guys can set up your own matches, which we encourage. I will be setting up the $5,000 match from Colorado Media Project. So you don't have to click any buttons for that one. It'll probably appear by the end next week, just because I'm trying to make sure to get all of those visible so everybody feels comfortable weeks before the campaign. So it will show up in your matching grants area. It will show up as upcoming because I'm going to schedule it. I'm going to schedule it to start December 3rd, when your campaign kicks off, to December 31st. And so you'll see it in there. The only thing I'll ask is not to edit or adjust it, or if you feel like, gosh, something needs to happen, I need to edit or adjust this, contact Samurai just with any questions. Does that help clarify that question? So I'll be doing the $5,000 match so it visually shows up on your page on December 3rd. All right.
And yes, Melanie, your question, can you add, yes, if any other donors want to give additional matching funds to add to the CMP pool, you can add those manually. Fantastic
Good question.
questions. If anybody has any final questions, please put them in the chat. I'll flag those, but let me give you a brief overview of our updates to the match eligibility rules. In previous years of News Colorado Needs, when CMP was doing all of the match verification on our own, we just matched the News Match national campaigns rules. Using Colorado Gives us has given us the opportunity to make a couple of changes, most of which aim towards simplifying this for you and expanding the universe of eligible donations. So here is and this is all described in your, I'll drop the link again, newsroom instructions document down at the bottom, but here are the rules. Individual donations to any part of donations from any kind of entity to any participating newsroom up to $1,000 made within the giving period via Colorado Gives platform. So they can come from anybody. The only restrictions are they'll be matched up to $1,000. They have to occur during that giving period window, and they have to be made through the Colorado Gives platform. So there are questions about checks coming in within that. I mean, we don't have to, we don't have to worry about, when was a check written or when was a thing arrived in the mail. If it's coming in the mail, it's not going to be eligible for match because it's not coming in through the Colorado Gives donation platform. the time of the donation will be tracked automatically by the platform, so you won't have to worry about those things. One change, I think the only other significant change from over the years, we used to be able to match the totality of an annual recurring gift. And the way the Colorado Gives platform works is any payments on recurring gifts. Say somebody signs up to give $10 a month for the next year. Any payments that are made during the giving window during December will be eligible for the match. But the next payment that comes in January will be received outside of that giving period and won't be eligible for the match. It is still great reasons for you to seek out recurring donations, because those are just like fantastic sustainable revenue for you. But the way the Colorado Gives platform calculates the match, the payments have to come in within that window.
Yeah.
So
And just to reiterate,
simpler.
yeah, it should hopefully feel simpler. Yes, so it sounds like in previous years, when someone set up a $10 recurring gift, you match the entire amount, anticipating that they'd keep it for the full year. The way that match funds work and grants work, it's technically challenging to anticipate someone not canceling a gift, so it is the safest and the most truest way to match any gifts that are coming in during the time period of your campaign. That does not mean that recurring gifts still aren't the most valuable type. They still are. That is still the epitome of donation you should be asking for. So thank you for bringing that up, Sam. That's really important.
All right, let me just check the chat.
Can businesses contribute, Sam, this time around?
Yes, thank you for, yeah. Any entity that wants to use the Colorado Gives platform to contribute to your newsroom, an individual, a business, a partner organization, as long as the donation comes through Colorado Gives, it will be eligible. And Gregory, thank you. That's a great question. Let me wrap up with, I'll drop this link in the chat again. There is a yellow column in this spreadsheet. Please add, I already have all your organization's websites, but please add the link to your coloradogives.com fundraising or organizational profile page to that spreadsheet. I've already answered a few that folks emailed me, but running this thing on my own, my inbox is often swamped, so I may have missed somebody's. If that's the case, I apologize. Easiest way for you to do it, get it to me, is just add it to this spreadsheet. I will be promoting all of your pages on CMP's sort of central News Colorado Needs campaign page. I don't want to leave anybody out, so make sure I can link to you and connect your newsroom to, we're going to have search features that enable folks who show up to find their newsroom by region. So hopefully we'll be able to point some new donors to you. I think those are all of the questions, and we're right on time. So knowing how much of your time you've already given me today, I'm going to wrap this up there. If you have any additional questions, please feel free to email me if it's about sort of the campaign collateral or matching things. Feel free to reach out to Jordan as well. In that instruction document, there's a link to put some time in her calendar if you want sort of hands-on support with any challenges you're having with the platform or your page. We're here to help you. And the last thing I'll do is drop that link for next week's training on the campaign collateral. Hope to see you all there as well. Thank you all.
Bye, guys. Thank you.
Best of luck.
A lot.